You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
You're fired. Get out of here.
That pretty much explains our 2024 elections in the U.S. I could see the benefits of both people, being in office. Now, ideologically, I'm a more liberal, as you know, and the big key fundamental issues are I don't like Trump, but fiscally and crypto-wise, he works for me. But the Dems lost like 10 million votes. They just disappeared. People did not show up for them. How the hell does that happen? It's crazy. And it could be because of inflation. They printed so much money, and it's made it really hard for the average American. So I kind of can see that from that point of view. But what's Trump going to do? And it's going to get really interesting. And I'd like to say, who could you blame? And I kind of would blame the younger generation, like these Gen Zers. They didn't show up. They did not show up for Kamala, and there's 41 million of them that were eligible to vote this time around, and they didn't show up. And I kind of get it that they're, too busy playing their video games. I have to deal with them. When you get to the store and you have to deal with any of these young kids, it's like, oh my God, dealing with a mentally handicapped person. It really sucks. And their teachers should be put in jail because I think most of them are illiterate and just effing useless. So yeah, put their teachers in jail. But this could be a big reason why Harris lost. Until the break of dawn, I go. Now, on the bright side, we have a Bitcoin president in the United States. Holy crap. Just think about that. Say that out loud for a moment. We have a pro-Bitcoin president, and it blows my mind. You think we're going to the moon? Forget the moon. We're going to Mars. We got Elon Musk. Forget it.
This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done. If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon, I want America to be the nation that leads the way. And that's what's going to happen. I pledge to the Bitcoin community that the day I take the oath of office, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's anti-crypto crusade will be over. It will end. It'll be done. It'll be done. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman. You're fired. Get out of here.
There you go. Get the fuck out. You're fired. Gary Gensler is going to be gone. And that is just fantastic.
Investors are betting on a friendlier environment for that industry under a second Trump administration. Mackenzie Sigalos is following that story for us. Mackenzie.
Hey, Scott. Bitcoin briefly surging to a new record high as investors bet that Donald Trump will deliver on his pro-crypto promises, especially with a Republican-controlled Senate behind him and after getting more than $25 million from crypto donors. Now, Trump's main pledge is to fire SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who's brought more than 100 enforcement actions against industry leaders like Coinbase and Robinhood. Those stocks are pumping 25% and 17% respectively today, with Robinhood on pace for its best day in over 2 years. Bitcoin miners are also getting a boost this morning, with Trump having promised on the campaign trail that all future Bitcoin will be mined in the U.S. Marathon, Riot, and Bit Digital are all trading up more than 14%, and driving small caps higher as well. Now, in terms of the market outlook, multiple analysts are expecting Bitcoin will hit $100,000 before Trump's inauguration, especially if he delivers on promises like launching a strategic national crypto stockpile with the $15 billion worth of Bitcoin that it already has on its books from asset seizures and Scott Bitcoin, now up 68% year to date after briefly hitting that new all-time high overnight.
All right, good look at that for us. Mackenzie, thank you.
Simple 1 million Bitcoin, 5% of the world's supply. We'll start with the 210,000 Bitcoin that President Trump just mentioned and pull it into a reserve stored in geographically diverse vaults. And that's only the beginning. Over 5 years, the United States will assemble 1 million Bitcoin, 5% of the world's supply.
For them to get 1 million coins, it's going to have to be $1 million per Bitcoin. There you go. And BlackRock is buying as much as they can in the background. That's why I've been seeing all the prints I've been seeing for months. And what can I say? It's all right there in front of us. It's coming true. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy. This is why I sold everything, stocks, real estate, everything, to get all into Bitcoin. I wasn't doing it for fun. I seen this coming. And now with Trump in office, it was going to happen anyway, but now it's going to happen super fast and super hard. It's just going to go nuts. It's probably going to be twice as much as what I was looking for before. And it's going to get insane, is all I can say. We are now entering the banana zone. And people who have been around in the past, the last time, like back in 2017, when this happened, well, you remember. And the charts, there it is, right there in front of us. I don't have to tell you. The craziness is just starting. And congratulations to those who joined in. That's all I can say.
Who knows, maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand them a little crypto check, right? We'll hand them a little Bitcoin and wipe out our $35 trillion.
Mars, baby. We're going to Mars. Michael Saylor will lead the way with Elon Musk, and we're going to Mars. Enjoy the video. Good morning. Okay, I don't have to tell you what happened. You've probably seen the start of the video and all the stuff that I added. I hope you enjoyed it. But Trump won, and we have taken off. So the best thing that could have happened for crypto has happened, and it's going to be magnificent. And you could already see it in the movement that we've had. I'm showing SUI because this is one I keep getting messages from people. People love to PM me. And okay, so here we are. I'm opening with, my favorite altcoin outside of Solana. And here we are with SUI. And we are almost to the first target zone, which I said was going to be in the mid $3 to $4 range, to around $4, somewhere in this, close to it. But that's the first target zone, and we're already there. We are almost there, and it's only November. Crazy. And I went over and got into it. My previous buys. You can go through my previous videos, and my thoughts, why I thought this was going to be one of the best performing, and it certainly was. Ironically enough, its little brother, SEI, did not perform as well. It did not take off. It did not make new highs. It's just kind of lagging there. which is a bit disappointing, but okay. Not every coin is going to go over and do spectacular things. This one still is likely to break out to the upside. You already saw, my thoughts on that. And then we can go to Solana. We can already see what's happened to it. It's made new highs, so it's tracking along, doing well. And so everything that I've had is pretty much, is doubled or is more than doubled. Most of everything, not everything. Bitcoin is still has a lot of upside. Ethereum, oh my God, let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum is lagging. It is lagging. It's just getting to the all the different buys that I've had. It's just getting to this zone. It's not even broken out. It's broken out from this trend line, but it needs to go over and take out a trend line that's right here. If we connect these two tops right here and then make new highs and take out that 4,000 level. That's coming. That's just certain. The bigger money is going to see the discrepancies where the value is, and they're going to start running into the marketplace with, loads of cash because they know what's happened is going to get crazy. And I repeat, it's going to be crazy. You have no idea of the upside that is to come because of the structural changes that are happening. The U.S. government is now pro-Bitcoin. That means they're going to do things and have legislation. And once the banks can start holding and become custodials of Bitcoin, and they offer custody of it in the banking system, the amount of money that will be available to buy it is going to be ridiculous. It's going to get crazy. It really, I have nothing to say, but you know what I've done. I've gone all in, and my first target is almost hit, which I was looking for 83. This makes sense logically, and even up to the 94 area up to here is likely to occur as well. The coming months are just going to be insane. We're only in November. This was the last line that I calculated for the speed of the upside to start to really roll. And so far, this has been the biggest move in the shortest period of time. If you calculate the percentage of the move from here to there, compared to this one over here, this one took a longer period of time to get up there, just to the highs. This one over here, when we went to this over here, made a good move, but it took a longer period of time. And if you notice the times in those two ranges, it was actually the longer was August to October, and then October to November was a little bit shorter. And now the next speed line is January 25th, which is funny, ironically enough, 5 days after Trump takes office. So what the hell is going to happen within that period of time? But once this line hits, if you recognize the banana chart, which I showed, and I'll put a screenshot of it up here, but the banana chart of the acceleration of movement and percentage is likely to occur after this January 25th point. That's what I calculated to the next one. So we had these three all work out. This one here, this here, and now this one here, which is the largest. And makes sense because this is the higher power statistically and numbers wise of where you get acceleration to the upside. And I said you're going to likely see days where maybe it's going to be $5,000 or even $10,000 of price movement to the upside. Now you could get big swings up and then a big swing down. It might be a few thousand, but the bigger swings are going to be to the upside. Remember, there's so much money that's going to be coming into this. It's going to be ridiculous, and it's going to be ongoing. And then we haven't even talked about all the other countries that have been caught off guard with America becoming a crypto capital, who wanting all the Bitcoin. They're going to be like, what? We have to go over and get the Bitcoin. F the United States. So there's no, it's nice that Trump wants all the Bitcoin to be mined in the United States. It's not the way Bitcoin works. And when a few of us heard it, we're like laughing that he, it's great. He's going to, unless he's going to go over to the other countries and invade them and grab their mining rigs and their Bitcoin wallets, it's not likely to happen that way. But hey, he's Trump. It might happen. He might do that. He might invade a country and steal their Bitcoin. Anyway, as you've seen so far, the chart's done everything that it should. I know this looks a little bit strange because this is the way it works, and this is the statistic. But January 25th is the next speed line. So we could have a big move, maybe down, and then after this point, we can get a really huge acceleration, and probably taking us up to numbers that are going to be to some, stratospheric. Now, if you remember, let's go to a larger time frame here. Spread the chart out. You remember I showed you my chart here, and all the buying that I did and the pattern that I was looking at. What I'm looking at from here, going back in time, and the breakout that we had over here. And the first levels like the 83 here, and then we're going to be looking for levels that go all the way up to here next after this. So after we settle around this 83, and it can go from 83, there's some speed lines and numbers that go from around 86 to 83, but this is the first stop. So in this area, and then maybe a possibility we go back to the trend line. Yes, we can go all the way back down to around where we broke out, which is around that 68, 69K area. That is possible. Doesn't mean it will happen, but it's possible. Now, my first target, my minimum target was this right down here, around 242. I don't think 242 is going to be a good target anymore. Now I'm looking at around the 486, the upper 400,000 range as the minimum target. So this is now what I'm looking at. I think this is going to be achievable very quickly. And I don't think people are going to go over and stop talking. Right now, nobody's talking about Bitcoin. You don't really see the search results or anything like that, because this is mostly big money that are going to be investing in Bitcoin now. This is totally, I told you, this is changing the dynamics away from retail. The retail will be the FOMO ones who are going to be buying as the price goes up. But the big money is going to be buying and holding, and they're going to be looking for really big numbers. So I would say, let's change this. Let's change this. What could we call this? Let's just name them target 1, target 2, 1, because this is still relatively mathematically sound. Target 1. But let's make it a yellow. Oops. Let's change color. There we go. Target 1. And then That's target 2. We'll turn that one to blue. All right, so as you can see, this would be my target 2. I would say this I would put as my minimum target. And then above that, what you're looking at, and this kind of makes sense because it matches up with that model that that guy has. So that kind of makes sense. But where would be the third line? Where would be the next one? I'm going to have to go over and calculate that and get a really good target. I've not really done that. Some things suggest above the 700 to 800,000 level, but I haven't really done that. But this is what I'm looking at primarily. And when everything goes absolutely crazy, which it's not even started, you know, you're looking at Bitcoin above 81K, and maybe it goes to 83 or 86 or whatever in this range, and you're going to think, wow, that's fantastic. That's nothing. This is all of this price. This is nothing compared to the future moves that I'm looking at. And I mean absolutely nothing. I'm looking at real moves that are going to be absolutely huge. Do you think I went all in just to go over and maybe get a double or something? Forget that. I'm looking at moves that this goes absolutely insane. And, you know, 81K, 100K, who cares? Show me the real numbers that go all the way up to these numbers up to here. This will now make a great deal of sense. And remember, we've got 2 months, November, December. So, all right, maybe like 3 months almost of just insane things. Trump has not even taken office. When he starts actually doing these things, like creating a strategic reserve and having government people and advisors pro crypto in the space, think about that for a moment. Think about all the things that are going to be accomplished. Clarity, regulatory clarity, Gary Gensler being gone. Oh my God. Do you know how, I mean, that's like the best thing of all. It's not been officially, when he's out, they're going to be parties. They're going to, in the streets in many places, they're going to be Bitcoiners that are just going to go absolutely insane. But the upside is just going to be huge. The target 1, let's say call it target 1, target 2. And in my next video, I'll come out and show you where I think target 3 is going to be. People have it anywhere from around the 500K area all the way up to the 1 million mark. And I don't know if we'll get as crazy as going to 1 million. Anything is possible. Remember, when the coins really start to contract because too many people are buying, there's not going to be enough coin. There's just not. You'll get a certain degree of sellers that will try to sell, but it's going to be very muted. And anything they do sell is just going to get, it's going to get bought very quickly. The big money is not stupid. They're going to see value in Ethereum at some point. And once they do, Ethereum is going to be taking off. It's going to be above 5,000. You'll see that. This is nothing. This should be above the 4K mark already. So it's lagging, but it always lags. No big deal. We've seen that done many times. There are so many coins that are ready to go, that are going to be taking off. You already saw SUI and Solana. They've already taken off. Even Doge has taken off, if you see it. And so it's fitting its price projections here. Here's the doggy coin, Doge here, and this one's taking off. Its first area that it should go to is that 32-cent range, and it's almost there. So that finally took off. People are very happy with a lot of different, coins. Now, one of them that I was asked about was SNX. This one over here. This is not one that I've traded this before in the past. And you remember back in the day, this thing went from the $4 range, I remember it in the $3 range, buying there in the $4 range, and then it blasted all the way up to 6 on a percentage base. It was a great trade. It even went almost as high as $30, 20 to 30 is what I was thinking it would do, and it did. It just kept going. Logically, on a short period of time, if you were a buyer in the $3 to $4 range and you were able to sell in the around 15, 16 or above in the 20s, you cleaned up. I don't know what to tell you. And now, people have asked me about it, and it is starting to roll. Notice the volume right here. It had a volume turnover already. So it killed its downtrend. So now it's just been meandering right here. It's going to be ready to take off, in my opinion. Now, this is a really small coin that I don't have much to really say about it. It's not something I would have any huge amount of money in. I believe in SUI as my top and my Solana and many others. They're, in my opinion, those are bigger coins. They've got more people involved in them. And SUI is going to be the top altcoin going. It was the easiest one for me to see, and I told you about the amount of interest and participation in this was just ridiculous. This is my favorite coin, and it is performing as it should. And if you remember, we'll go to a 4-hour here. I said that it would likely pull back to this area right down here, and it did. It fulfilled the pattern. It telegraphed it in the volume. They had some news about some sellers or whatever, and it pulled back to this zone here and then just took off. And now it's basically from there, it's basically doubling. Absolutely fantastic. So, what my thoughts were on that. I told you that way ahead of time. And so that's pretty much it. I will go over and go to Bitcoin and get the possibilities of the third target, because that's going to be important. Let's shrink it. Yeah. Because that's what everybody's going to want to know is where's the third target. So, my two targets right here. This one is going to be super easy to achieve in the coming months. This one is where I would say is the most likely place we're going to end up. Now with Trump being president, the next 4 years are going to be absolutely insane for Bitcoin. And the banks haven't even started buying yet. Once they're able to hold custody, this is going to be a worldwide asset. There's going to be countries that are going to be going, what the hell do we do? How can we get Bitcoin? And there's just not enough Bitcoin out there for them to get. So good luck. If they would have to start doubling the price in order to get people to sell. And I think a lot of people have been listening to Saylor and go, you don't sell your Bitcoin. That's the premise that that's in place right now. So things are going to get absolutely insane. This is so easy to achieve. This is the most likely spot. And in my next video, I will show you where I think we're going as the next zone of possible if it gets really crazy. And it's possible that we get really crazy because in order for there to be any supply, any liquidity, prices are going to have to more than double just to get some people to sell, to take profits. It's going to have to more than double. Where we are right now, and the movements have been slow and whatnot, and to the upside, because, you know, a few $1,000s, who cares? $10,000, who cares? Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care until it gets to the first range in here in this low $100,000 range. And even then, they might not care. It's, you know, there can't be any real selling until you get to much higher numbers. And there's just going to be so much buying. It's going to get crazy. And we haven't seen anything yet. So until my next video, where I give you the next third target, I have to go over and calculate what I think with everything that's happened. And yeah, so I'm sure everybody is just in awe and shock, but it's going to get a lot more crazy. And oil's going to tank. As you saw, oil is already tanking. So it's going to be some really interesting things coming down the line. And, well, anyway, you'll see in my next video. That'll be interesting. Then I'll show the third target on Bitcoin, and we'll go from there. Anyway, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.